Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. I'm living in China, as you well know, and I'm an American, as many of you know. So I have my feet in both worlds. And the United States is on a warpath, one war after the other, and the writing's on the wall. They want to attack China. It's pretty in your face. Will this manage to occur? We don't know. Certainly, China is making it a very uncomfortable path for the United States to take. And I mean that seriously. The United States tries to create a war with China, no matter what the excuse is. China did this, so the United States must do that. It's just an excuse. The United States is going to have a war. So there will be a massive level of discomfort. And China is making sure that that it is going to be the porcupine with the sharpest quills possible. Because after all, China is a peaceful nation and wants to maintain peace. But nevertheless, there's a lot of people who are really worried about World War III and what's going to happen. And I've pointed out the Diago report, and I've pointed out Strauss and Howe's fourth turning writings. But I want to point out something quite different here. You know, we can't predict the future, but we can extrapolate from trends, right? I mean, if you have a dog that's going around the neighborhood, snapping at people's heels, attacking little children, and crapping all over the yard, you don't expect that dog to suddenly behave like that, do you? You can extrapolate its behavior and say when that child is walking down the street, the dog will probably run towards it and bite it. We can extrapolate behavior. Likewise, we can say, you see that little old lady who makes tea on every Monday without problem? She makes it on Monday, and she has some other tea ladies come knocking on her door. We can extrapolate to that next Monday that's going to occur, right? That's what an extrapolation is. You take what you know and then extrapolate the probable outcomes from it. Okay? So when you're worried about World War III, you're worried about a war with China, we can look at remote viewing, which is Diago. We can look at biological, sociological trends, which is Strauss and Howe. Or we can listen to mainstream media, which is going to throw you off down some dark alley somewhere. Or we can extrapolate from historical data, and that's what I'm going to do right here. Okay? So I'm going to start with some obvious things. In the last 20 years, the United States hasn't been able to get anything right. Coronavirus was a failure. Millions of Americans were killed. United States started the high-speed train same time China did. United States has what 15 miles of track, no train stations, no locomotives, no cars yet after 20 some years. United States is cities are filled with homeless. Schools are getting shot up by mass shootings so much that it's the norm. You have rampant, massive crime waves with organized shoplifting. People in California can't park their cars without somebody doing a crash the window and see. So a lot of people are just leaving their hatchbacks open and their windows down so that people don't destroy their cars when looking for loot. Train derailments, some of them very nasty with massive pollution, infrastructure burning. A government that seems to not be able to do anything right and is spending money crazily in a Verdun situation, which we call Ukraine. Out of control spending with out of control inflation. A lot of Americans are working multiple jobs just to survive. Hospital costs are outrageous. You had the Affordable Care Act where you would be popping a minimum of $5,000 a month just in case, but you still have to pay completely out of the pocket if it's under $10,000. I can go on, and I'm sure many other Americans can list on and on, just failure after failure after failure after failure. If I ask you right now, tell me something the United States did right, you can't think of something immediately. You have to really think about it. Want me to go on? Educational system where you have people who graduated from high school, graduated from college, can't read a clock. People are completely devoid of reasoning skills. You have racial inequality and no efforts made to control that. So it goes on and on and on. So as far as the United States goes, you have problems. The problems get bigger and bigger and bigger over time. The efforts that the United States government does to inject solutions make the problems worse. That's the trend. Now let's look at China. Everything China says it's going to do, it does, and it successfully completes. China says it's going to eliminate poverty. It did. China says it's going to build high-speed rail. High-speed rail is everywhere. China says it's going to make housing, food, transportation affordable. It is. China says it's going to change the monetary system. Everything is cashless. It is. China has made the places safe. Crime is completely down. Is this because the Chinese government is making laws? No. Is this because that they're putting edicts? No. It's because they are a merit-driven society. So let's stand back here for a moment and do a quick review. The United States, no matter what it touches, it falls apart and messes up. The United States everything it seems to touch fails. And China is the absolute opposite. Everything it seems to touch turns to gold. Now, people are talking about World War III because the United States is going to provoke a war with China, and there's going to be a war with China. And so, everybody's all worried about this. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Well, let me tell you something. Using historical precedents and extrapolating what we know. Everything America does right now goes to shit. Everything China does goes to gold. The absolute extrapolation says that a war between the United States and China, China will win. It'll win on a tactical level. It will win on a strategic level. And what that means, it bodes very, very badly for the United States. Therefore, of course, you don't have to believe me. You can believe in Santa Claus. You can believe that somehow the United States has some secret back-engineered alien technology, or maybe it's got something that nobody knows about. Maybe you can believe whatever you want, but obvious extrapolation points to Chinese winning any war with the United States. And so, with that understood, you now have a forecast of what's going to happen in the future. Irregardless if there's a hot war or not, you can predict what's going to be the world in 2030. You can predict what the world's going to be like in 2040 just by extrapolating historical trends, whether there's a war or not. And I hope that this little bit of information assists you in planning for your own personal life and futures and helps you tone down the screeching yelling that the mainstream media is all about. Because China is a peaceful nation. If the United States backs down, China will continue to be peaceful and will be as helpful as possible. China is a helpful, peaceful nation. It's all in the control of the West. And that is my little discussion for today. I hope that it gives you some comfort. Just remember, your life is in your hands. Keep in mind that China is a peaceful nation, it's a powerful nation, and your future is destined to be quite good, provided it's not interrupted by a mad, rabies saturated mongrel that's running all over the neighborhood trying to bite everything that moves. Take care, people. Know that I believe in you.